Happy spooky dooky season, everyone, and welcome to Steelbook Obsessed. My name is Jake, and today I have the treat of showcasing off Trick or Treat on glorious 4K from Arrow Video. I adore this movie. I'm gonna say that right off the gate. I love it so much, and when I was sent this, the first thing that I looked at were all of the special features that are included in this release. And my jaw dropped because I'm like, oh, there's a lot of stuff to dig into. I will go over everything that's inside of this physical media release, as well as what is on the disc of this release. If you like review content like this, make sure you give me a like, a follow, subscribe, all that fun stuff. But let's dig into a little bit more of the movie itself. If you've never seen it, Trick or Treat is more or less an anthology film in vein of like a creep show. It blends a lot of humor and horror together at once, while also kind of intertwining those storylines into one another. Characters from one story will go into another one. I adore this, and I feel like movies don't do this enough. I can think of movies like, God, when I was watching a lot of Stars as a high schooler, 11-14. I feel like that movie does not get talked about enough. That movie is an absolute blast. And honestly, and Pulp Fiction, I guess, is probably the main one. It's not really like Trick or Treat, but it's still the intertwining storylines like that. Trick or Treat is great. It blends humor and horror pitch perfectly. And this is the third time I've seen this movie. I saw it when I rented it when it originally came out. I loved it. And then I bought the Blu-ray Steelbook for it. Watched it one more time. This Steelbook is a beaut, my friends. Let me tell you what. And now for the third time, I am watching it on the Arrow Video release. And I don't know if it's because each time that I watch it, I know what I'm getting myself into a little bit more, or if it's the actual format that I'm watching it in, but I enjoy myself a lot when I'm watching this movie. And I'm happy to report that the 4K transfer on this Trick or Treat is a delight, folks. Some of the best pops in the film come when it's very dark scenes and they're around fire. And that happens numerous times, whether it be the Anna Paquin and the group of girls that she's with around a campfire, or a jack-o'-lantern shooting out flames in that Brian Cox segment. I don't want to get too spoilery into this movie if you've never seen it, but I will say if you want to get into the spooky dooky Halloween mode, give this movie a shot. It's 82 minutes long. It's an absolute delight from start to finish. It starts off a little cheesy, and then that cheese gets grated real quick. And then it just kind of continues to ebb and flow between the two worlds of comedy and horror. And I love everything about it. Michael Dougherty is the director. He also directed Krampus. So if you've seen Krampus and you like, again, that blending of humor and horror and practical effects, you should go give Trick or Treat a shot. Let's start by unboxing this bad boy, shall we? I've showed this off a couple of times. I like the masks from the bus. If you know, you know, on the side. I wish there were two different masks on the side, but I'm not gonna let that be a huge nitpick. We have reversible artwork on the slipcover, or the main 4K release itself. The original poster artwork, just like I had with the Blu-ray Steelbook. Always very nice. If you want to go and pop it up, here's the reverse artwork, just exactly what it was on the slipcover. That's why it's nice to have the slip, and it's nice that Arrow Video is giving us the option to go and kind of choose what artwork to go with. It's kind of hard to beat the original poster artwork, in my opinion. The 4K, again, the artwork is just like what it is on the slip. And the more I look at the newly commissioned artwork, the more I am liking it. I love the jack-o'-lanterns that are lining up on the side here. On the slipcover itself, I love all the texture pops on this bad boy. I think it is very nice. It is nicely done. I'm a big gloss pop guy. We go in here. We also have a lot of postcards. Oh geez, if I can keep them all together. Here we go. That jack-o'-lantern scene is phenomenal. Every time I see that one, I enjoy it more and more. That scene is probably one of my favorite scenes. There's just a lot of good in here. Here's Brian Cox in one of the special features that I watched on this set. He said his only he wanted, the only thing that he suggested for the way that his character looked is that he wanted to look like John Carpenter. And I think I did not see that before until I watched that, and I'm like, yeah, the long hair and just the grizzled old man effect, very much like Carpenter in here. So that's a very fun tidbit that special features are able to give to you. But that is everything postcard wise, art card wise that they have to offer. We got Sam on the back here. We also have like a little sneak peek card from Arrow Video. I got the Cell. And I don't think this has been officially announced yet. It might be, it might not be. I'm not sure. I've never heard of Arrow Video coming out with the Cell, but I'm assuming this will be coming out in 4K sometime soon. I've never seen it. I've always wanted to. On the back here, we have some Watch Arrow 30 days free. So if you want to kind of see that for yourself, there's the code right there. And we also have a booklet. Trick or Treat, cute little Sam without the mask in here. Kind of spoilery, sorry on that. You don't really know what he looks like. There's a better view of him though. One gripe, I love when booklets can become almost like little props from the movie, prop replicas. I would have loved to have seen this and this look like the comic book intro and outro cards that go through this movie. That would have been a very nice added touch. But again, we just get that's a good picture to stumble upon. There's a reason why the staples are in the middle there. They definitely don't want you to miss that one. And this one just has a lot of pictures in it, which is not a bad thing at all in my book. More than the sum of its parts. That is one of the essays that is in here. The use of subversion and horror tropes in Trick or Treat. Very, very cool. So yeah, the book, very nice touch. And then of course, just like with any other Arrow Video release, we have the poster of the slipcover and the original artwork right there. I think you kind of get the gist without me having to unfold everything. Very, very solid release. Like I mentioned before, the transfer is also solid, so that's always good to report on these suckers. It is HDR10. It's I could not find what the size of the disc was, the 4K disc was itself, but it's got to be pretty dang big just because of the amount of everything that they crammed on this disc. Unfortunately, they're still kind of going with the trend of not including a Blu-ray on the release. It is only a 4K. But everything's on this 4K, so I'm not complaining that much about that either. It's also region free because it is a 4K, of course. So you don't have to worry about that. It doesn't matter what region of the world you live in. This will work in your player, which is always a nice added bonus as well. But speaking of bonus, the special features here, jam frickin' packed. And I love it when you get new special features, of course, but you also bring over special features that were on previous releases of different Blu-rays and DVD editions that have came out. Every single special feature that's on this basic Blu-ray are on here. So we have Brian Cox kind of waxing poetic about the history of Halloween. It's like a half-an-hour mini doc that I watched. Very insightful. We have the short cartoon animated short that Michael Dougherty made back in 1996 called Season's Greetings that had an animated Sam, and this has been in his head ever since then. Like it took him, what, 10-ish years? 10, 12-ish years? When did this movie come out? 2007? Is that correct? 2007. So it took him a decade, 2 decades. No, 96, 07. Wow. It took him a decade to get from where the animated feature was to kind of see, okay, I want to turn this animated short into a full-length live-action anthology series. Also, looking at special features on here, I never owned this release, But Scream Factory also put out a Blu-ray of Trick or Treat that I've wanted to get. I just never did because I had the Blu-ray Steelbook. I was happy with that. But there were a ton of exclusive special features that Scream Factory put into that release. All of them are brought onto this 4K sucker as well. So I watched a lot of those. Like, I feel like I watched more special features than I did the actual movie, since the movie is so short. The movie's 82 minutes. I probably at least had to have been close to 2 hours worth of special features on there. I had a fun time digging through. Probably my favorite special feature out of all of them is from the Scream Factory, and it's just Michael Dougherty. I love having the director break down how much of a passion project this was for him, how it kind of, the evolution of the idea of Sam, starting from this little idea of having a Halloween mascot, because every other holiday had their own mascot, and just letting it branch out into creating an anthology film. He had a couple of ideas for anthology segments that just kind of intertwined themselves, just like the storylines do, into this movie. Very, very cool. Also talks about the merchandise that came out back when that original Scream Factory edition came out. Very cool to have all the archival stuff on here. But let's talk about the newness, the new special features that we have from this edition of Trick or Treat. I would probably say the highlight is interviewing Sam himself. Back when this movie was shot, the kid was only 7 years old when he played Sam. And they got new interviews this year with the actor who played Sam. I will pop up a title card. I kind of threw the title, or took pictures of the title cards while I was watching them. The actor's name is Quinn Lord, and it was kind of cool just to see his enthusiasm. He has to be in his 20s now, I would assume. Math. And yeah, just seeing how good of memories he had on the set, and going through all the one stunt that he was able to do, and wishing he was able to do a lot more than just that one stunt, but having cool things to say about Michael and Brian Cox and a lot of people on set. It's just nice to hear. But he also brought up how it was a very surreal moment. He does the horror movie convention circuit like a lot of these actors do that are in these genre films. But he said, like, he couldn't believe that Spirit Halloween came out with a life-size replica of Sam. Like, that was one of the most surreal things that he could talk about. I love when movie memorabilia, like merchandise, is actually talked about on special features. I never knew I needed that in my life until the Dark Sky Films, that 50th anniversary chainsaw set. One of the special features was talking about all the movie memorabilia. Please make this more of a thing. I need these in my life because I love collecting, obviously, and I'm not down the rabbit hole of movie memorabilia or just props, anything like that. So if you can scratch that itch in bonus feature form, I would highly recommend it because I find that absolutely fascinating. But there are also a lot more new interviews. The main reason why this looks like a paragraph is because it just pinpoints all of the new interviews. We have an interview with a production designer, an interview with the director of photography, an interview with a costume designer, an interview with the creature designer who did the werewolves, which that's never really been I feel like that's one of the worst special effects in the movie, are the way the werewolves look. But the dude, don't tell that guy who made that. Don't tell what is his name? Don't tell Patrick Tatopoulos? Don't tell him, because he is very proud of the practical effects that he made. There's also a tribute to the late makeup effects designer, Bill Terazakis? I probably butchered that again. I'm terrible when I talk about names, so excuse me. One special feature I did not get to because I'm not a big commentary person, but I do want to check this out. The only new piece of content you get from director Michael Dougherty is a brand new a brand new commentary. It's with Michael Dougherty, but it's moderated by James A. Janice and Chelsea Rebecca from the Dead Meat podcast, which is very cool. But it makes me think that it's just an episode of Dead Meat's podcast that they put on this disc. If it is, it's cool that it's on here to begin with, but there might be other means to listen to that, and you might not need this to have that experience. But it is cool to have that podcast on here, if that is what it is, watching the film as it goes. Just another added touch, and I love seeing Dead Meat on physical media. I'm a big fan of their YouTube channel, and it's cool that they're on this release. I would say, all in all, if you're a fan of this movie, pick it up, because the 4K, I think, is an improvement over the Blu-ray disc. But if you're looking at it for just like a special feature way to get more information, the best interview is by far the one with the actor who played Sam. The rest of them I could give or take. There wasn't a lot of very new information that I needed in my life personally. It's cool that they were there, but a lot of them were like over Skype calls, and that always bugs me. The Sam one was not. The Sam one, they must have went to a convention that he was at, set up an interview space, and actually talked with the man in the same room. That always will be more beneficial than going over a webcam and interviewing somebody. I love how technology is able to do that for us, but I feel like it's a little bit on the lazy side when it comes to a bonus feature. Still nice to have, just a little bit of a gripe there. Since I don't have the Scream Factory version, I'm very happy all the special features got moved over. If you have the Scream Factory version, you're pretty much getting this because of the 4K transfer. I do think it's nice, but I don't have that comparison to look at to see what their transfer is compared to this transfer. I will say this transfer does look good. So let me know in the comments what you think about Trick or Treat, if you're thinking about picking this release up. And yeah, I love this movie, so I'm very happy that I'm able to add this to my Arrow Video collection. And it's just another example of a movie that was in the Scream Factory catalog on Blu-ray getting sniped by Arrow Video to put out the 4K version. I don't know what's going on over there at Shout Studios, but I feel like you need to not lose diamonds in the rough like Trick or Treat. I don't know what's going on with the sequel either, Michael Dougherty. I would have loved to have a special feature on here talking about the progress report on that thing, because I feel like I have heard that they were trying to make a sequel to this since like 2010. And I know last year it got announced like, yeah, it's still happening, Give us more information. It would have been a great, for true fans of the movie and physical media, that would have been a very nice cherry on top of this, just to kind of cement its history, just to talk a little bit more about the sequel, because I cannot wait for the sequel. If we never get one, I'm fine too, because this is so much fun. Like I said, my Letterboxd review, I'll pop it up one more time. Every time I watch it, I like it more and more. And if you've never seen it, this is a great blind buy, folks. And this Arrow Video is a perfect example of a great blind buy and digging into as many special features as you possibly can, because this release has all of them and all new ones. Thank you again for watching, and until next time, I'll see ya. Hey everybody, if you made it this far, congratulations. You found the after credits scene. Good for you, good for you. If you made it this far, I'm assuming that you're a fan of this film. My question for you is, what story in Trick or Treat is your favorite? Mine, just because of the way it ends, would probably be the werewolf segment. Like, that completely threw me for the loop the first time I saw it. And even though I know the reveal now, it's still a blast to see. I love the transformation scene by the fire. I also love how you feel like it's just this group of girls trying to have a fun night out, and you could see it both ways of them literally stalking their prey as werewolves, but also just kind of having a good time and using men for their own advantage. So I really like that give and take from that story, but all of them are really a fun time. I just want to know which one is your favorite. That's it from me today, keeping that last special bonus after credit scene short and sweet. Let's say Sam is coming to wish you a happy Halloween. Bye bye.